Graham, good to see you again. I remember a couple of weeks ago you saying to us that when you drive into work, you ask yourself the question, what do the players need from me?
Yeah.
Whether the form's good, bad, indifferent. What do the players need from you at the moment?
They need an understanding from me of what they're feeling. So I've spoke to a few of the boys this morning, a few of the senior players, myself and Chris, to get their opinion about how they're feeling, how they're feeling going into games, what they feel about the recent result, the performance last night, more because that for me was anomaly. I thought certainly a Valley Parade for us, and the players thought that as well. So I just wanted to make sure, because you as a coach, manager, you try to cover all bases, and there's a lot sometimes, certainly when you're working with 25 players or so. So I just think it's important for me to understand what they need from me. I can think what they need, and tactics and all that sort of thing, and clarity in their position. But sometimes there's another thing that they might need. So it was a really good conversation that we had. But I think I'm a bit clearer about what they're feeling just only at the moment, because they spoke to me and said it hasn't been, they didn't feel like that in other games, and that's why it was an anomaly last night. So I think it's always good to A, talk, but B, listen. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing, and I have to listen to it as well. But I have my own ideas, and I'm still going to hold them to the high standards in performance that we expect from each individual. We know there's different levels of ability in all the squad, but the majority of the players I know reasonably well now, and so I'll judge them on their best sort of behaviours and try and help them achieve them again.
Do you think last night was more a mentality thing as opposed to ability? Actually, what you said in the post-match regarding the doubt that was maybe in the mindset of some of the players.
Yeah, well, the doubt's in the head, isn't it? So I would say it's in the mindset or the mentality, not in a conscious way where they I don't fancy it tonight. I didn't see that from any of my players. The work ethic was there. I just felt we were delayed in our actions, and that can then lead to a flat environment, feeling, atmosphere, and then at half time you try to fix it a little bit with a couple of bits we could do better, and then we try to fix it again by bringing the 4 subs on, and they were in the process of going through the set piece and all that when unfortunately the opposition scored, so it made it a more difficult game for those 4 guys to come on into. But when they did, they came on and made an impact, and sometimes coming on with a fresh mind and actually seeing it from the bench and then going on, I think can help sometimes, because you can actually see how flat it is, or you can listen to the coaches and what we're talking about. Obviously not me, because I was up in the stand, but I think it's in the mind. It was last night, because when we talked about our results at Valley Parade, this 6-7 months ago or so, we had to understand what the challenge was in our mind and then make adjustments to how we approach it. So it wasn't on a physical level, it wasn't on a tactical level, it was on how we saw things when we played at Valley Parade against certain or against all opponents. And I think I know we've made great strides on that. So last night felt like a step backwards in that progression that we've made.
Is that a product of confidence or lack of, would you say?
I think it probably came from the last couple of results away from home, as in you're not picking up the results you expect or would hope for or you've worked for, and certainly I think maybe in the fashion that they happened, like I mentioned the 99th minute equaliser against Colchester, it can be gut wrenching. I know you guys said it might feel like a defeat, and I got that. It does feel like that when you do that. It wasn't, and then obviously the harsh red card for Burner on Saturday when the game's taken away from you as well. So I think those things they can build up over time. And we try, like I said, that's why we give them the sort of data of our form at Valley Parade to sort of alleviate that potential doubt or confidence. And but it didn't work. So I have to go back to the drawing board and understand exactly what they need from me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to serve the team. Chris is, the team, the other coaches are. So all we'll do is work to the best ability to help them go and show their true potential, which they have shown in bits and parts this season. We know the challenges we faced, but we can't look to that to lower our levels of what we expect from each other.
And I know that you don't want to lean too heavily on the challenges that you face, the adversity in terms of players that have been missing through injury. We've spoken with Aidan Baldwin today, and I think it just served as a reminder to all of us just actually how big a voice he must be in that changing room, because we don't really get to speak to him that much because he's been injured.
Yeah.
But it's quite clear how much of a leader and a presence he is within the group. And then you think of the likes of Anthony Sarcevic also missing as well. Is it not just the ability that you've missed in those players being injured, but also the voice in the changing room, the leadership that they show on the field?
Yeah, 100%. Those two are part of the conversation. You know, 4 or 5 players in, senior players, that some that have been here. You know, obviously Richie, the captain, and a couple of others. But those two, obviously fresh faces this season. Just to get, because I know they've got opinions, and they're not scared of showing, and that's what we want from people. It's, you know, we've spoken this summer about our recruitment policy of trying to get proven winners and promotion winners, because they've gone through it before, and then their communication skills, their understanding can help other players that haven't gone through it before to understand what the challenge is. So we 100% have missed those and others. But those two especially, because I think they're top performers. They're top performers and they're top characters as well. They're winners, 100%. They're winners. Yeah. You notice the training since they've got. Aidan's been back a couple of weeks. Sars only a couple of days, but you can just see the edge they have, and I think we need that, not just for those individuals, not just for winning, but also for the players that haven't developed that part of their character yet.
And on that point, without dramatising it too heavily, can it sometimes feel like some of the players that haven't experienced this before, you can almost forget what it feels like to win, just to get over the line and get the result?
I get the. It's a valid point, that forgetting, but I think or forgetting how to win, you know, and what you have to do to do that, and understanding when you do win, there's always moments in games where it could have gone either way, and there's always moments in games where you weren't on top, or you did make a mistake, but you still at the end of the have the outcome of winning. You know, you don't look back on a win and go everything was perfect, and you can't think like that, because it wasn't. So that's the. I thought that's what, when I was speaking to the players, we were a little bit delayed in our actions and in our decisions, and I just thought we second guessed things, or maybe didn't want to make the mistake, you know. And I've spoke to those individuals in the group that honestly, it does not exist, that perfection. It doesn't, and we will not achieve anything unless we're prepared to fail. You have to be prepared to fail. So if you're going to shoot, you're not going to hit the target every time, you're not going to score every time, but you have to still take on the opportunity. So that's just a micro sort of option of that, but that's what we have to be. And I think us at our best play with an aggression and an instant sort of playoff instinct, you know. But you have to train the instinct through day in, day out, not overthink things. And I just thought we overthought things last night. And when you overthink anything, there's always negative thoughts come in as well as the positive thoughts, you know. And I think if you go off instincts, I think you're more right than wrong.
I know this next question might not appease all the fans that listen to this, but is there credit in the fact that we're talking about all these things? You still got a point last night. You are still picking up points despite not being at your best.
Yeah, there is, you know, and it's not a deflection from us. I didn't come on to you last night and say I thought we played well, it was a great result. It wasn't. I'm honest with you guys, I'm honest with the supporters, I'm honest with the players. But I always have a balance in my opinions and my feedback to people, and I do like to be an optimist. I do like to be looking at the positive side of life, and I do know, because I have been through those promotion winning seasons as a player and as a manager, that you have spells where you have to grind, and you sometimes you don't know when the next win is, and then it comes, and then you go bang bang bang, because it's just a confidence boost. You don't know when it's going to be. If you stop working and stop believing, then it ain't going to come. And that's how I see it. So you have to keep believing and you have to keep working. And like I said to you at the end of the game, the point, I'm glad we got the point because we deserved the point. We didn't deserve to lose last night. We didn't play particularly well, but we didn't deserve to lose. But for me, the commitment of the players all the way to the final whistle was there all along, and that will stand us in good stead the next challenge we face. And if you look at the games we have lost or haven't won, they're all really fine. You know what I mean? They're one goal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we have match winners missing. Yeah. We do. That have got those moments and that have already proven it at several different clubs. So when they come back, I think they will help the team that's out there now, but that's not giving us a free pass to not play at our best with who we have right now, for any of us, for me or my players now.
I appreciate this is the pressures of management, but in a different way of looking at it. Is there almost an enjoyment in trying to be the solution finder, trying to take on the task of being the manager, if that makes sense?
Yeah, like jumping out of a plane with half a parachute is enjoyment and stuff like that. It's hoping you land on a soft bed or something. Yeah, it is, and it sounds strange. It sounds weird, but honestly, I must have had about an hour and a half kick last night because I couldn't stop thinking about how we fix things. How I can't wait for tomorrow to see the players, listen to them, speak to them, give them my opinion, listen to their opinions, because it starts a process of winning the next game, and that's the world I live in. You know, I've lived in it for 12 years as a manager, 24 as a player before that, and it's always been about trying to win the next game. There's never been a break in that sort of cycle since I was 16 years old. How do I win? How do we win the next game? And you just get on that, you know, that sort of, I don't know, roller coaster, I suppose. I was going to say treadmill, but a treadmill is well too flat to suggest football management. So it's certainly a roller coaster, but I do love being on it, and it's not every moment is great. I understand that, but the moments you do win, get success with the people that you got around you, it's so special because of the challenges you have to overcome, and everyone has to overcome. You know what I mean? So that for me is it's a bump in the road, or it's something right there. But I know we can get the answers. I know we've got the people that can produce those answers. We've just got to get there together.
How much was not having Andy Cook this Saturday on your mind last night?
I'll be honest, not as much, because I wanted to. It wasn't just about preparing for Saturday. It was right. I need to understand what last night was first, you know. And Cookie was obviously a part of that process. So he's another guy that I spoke to today as well. So you know, I wanted to understand that first before we try and compete on Saturday. But obviously, now when I go back to the office with the staff and we look at Saturday's challenge and what we have to do to overcome it, then it comes into my thinking, because he'll be missing. But I'll be honest, you know, we've become used to missing big players for us this season. But yeah, look, Cookie's been an outstanding performer for us on the goal scoring front, without a shadow of a doubt. It was a great goal last night, and but as we've had all season, when big players are missing or good players are missing, we have to find the solutions, and the solutions are in other players. Yeah. So that's what we have to do. And
you've got 4 strikers vying for those 2 spots that you've got in this system. Yeah. And I'm sure from your perspective, you want to see 1, if not 2 of those, take that chance.
Yeah, if we play 2 strikers. You know, so that's honestly, the players have to understand their responsibility to get picked as well. You know, it's not a bus stop where you just sit there waiting for someone to let you on the bus. You have to get on it, you know, and you have to do it through performance, through your training, through everything you are as a professional footballer. So you know, I think they all understand what the team needs from them. I think they all understand where I see their value and their attributes. It's about them producing them as often as possible to have that opportunity to play. So, but certainly someone will be coming into the team, so it's a chance for somebody.
And finally, just Anthony Sarcevic, is he close enough to be back in full training?
Full training, yeah. He trained today with us. It wasn't a full squad, obviously, because the lads played last night, but there's probably, 10, 11 players training today, so he trained in that, which is the first time he's trained with us fully from start to finish, which is great. We'll just see how he's feeling about that, probably tomorrow now rather than today, once he's had a good night's sleep and he's settled down. But he's chomping at the bit to be out there, as they all have been. You know, they've been desperate to get back to help the team. it's great to see him on the training pitch first and foremost, because there's real quality in 5 or 6 players that we haven't had, and we're looking forward to working with him at Wall again. But Sars it's good to see him back out, because it's been a while with him as well.
Good. Thank you, Graham.
Okay, mate.
You talk about wanting to win the next game when you've had a sticky patch and maybe not played to the best. It's the fact that there's so many games coming up this month an advantage in that way, that you're getting these opportunities to put things right?
I think there's the amount of games is left in the season, so it's not whether it's in the next 3 weeks or the next 4 weeks. It's our target, and the finishing line is May, April, May, and there's 31 games or something, 31 games or something like that, I don't know what it is, to go until the end of the season. So we have 30 odd opportunities to win as many points as possible, and we've seen year in, year out what is achievable with teams that can find ways of winning at any stage of the season. You obviously want to find it as quick as possible. We understand what we've had to face, but I still believe we have enough to win these games. But what you don't want to do is let's wait till January, February, and because then you're too far away, or you potentially could be too far away. Right now, we're still right in touch, and I mean right in touch. Within 1 or 2 results have been even in the top 3. So, that's how I see it. I'll see that. However challenging this whole period has been for the last 2 months, 3 months, where we've been missing so many players, we are still within reach of where we want to be. So that if that's not enough of a drive and an incentive for everyone to keep their head down and keep believing in it, then nothing will be.
And Crewe on Saturday, early kick-off. Is it just simply a case of pre-match routine being pushed forward or back, however you want to look at it, so that everything's done a bit earlier?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's not great eating pasta at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, unfortunately, but they have to prepare for the games. You do whatever it takes, and but to be fair, most of the preparation on a physical level and diet wise will be the day before, and you're just topping up on the day of the game, certainly if it's a 12:30 kick-off. So the players will be ready for it. I think we've got a few more coming up in this season already. So that's all it is. It's just a slight adjustment, but we try to keep everything as consistent as possible in our preparation.
Does it help that it's not too far away from Bradford?
Certainly with the 12:30, because ultimately we want as many fans there following us as well. So it's not as bad a journey as some in the division for our fans, and I think we own something after last night, to be fair. So that's a target for us.
Cheers.
Okay, mate.
You said that, Graham, about sort of owing the fans a little bit. I mean, obviously you were sat in the stand. You'd have heard there's a bit of tension in the air, and there's a lot of frustration. You can hear the shouts and that. I mean, is it sort of easy to block out from that, or do you sort of have to take that and sort of almost like translate that for the players and say, look, people are getting a bit frustrated at the results at the moment?
I was one of them. That's not honestly. The chair in front of me got booted to pieces, unfortunately. So
I was sat right in front of that.
Oh yeah, you weren't you? Sorry. So just because I was frustrated. So I can sit here hand on heart and say, of course there's going to be frustration. We can see good players not playing to their full potential, the team not playing at the pace and fluidity and aggression that we usually play with. So there's a frustration there because we all want to win. They want us to win. The supporters are with us. They want us to win, and if I'm frustrated, I know the supporters will be. Do you know what I mean? Because I work with these players every single day, and I know what good players they are. I know what good people they are. And even, I don't know, it's like when you get frustrated with your kids sometimes, you love them to bits, but you still want them to do better, don't you? And it's just about, for me anyway, as a manager, controlling my emotions, but I can't put that on the supporters as well. They're there to feel emotions, and you can't always direct those emotions to positive ones if what you're seeing isn't positive. So I understand it. The players understand it. No one's in there kidding themselves that we didn't do more than what we did last night. So I wouldn't say it's fine, but we can understand it. We totally.
And as you said, with football supporters, they'll be there the next game. People will turn up on Saturday, with that belief again of getting a result, getting a performance.
100%. That's how I see it. That's it. I've already walking down to the training pitch today. I bumped into a couple of guys who were there last night. I had a chat with them, and we'll be there Saturday. That's the sort of that's who we play for. You know what I mean? That's it. That's who we go out there to win for. You know, ourselves, our families, our own careers, but the fans are part of that process with us, and that challenge for us. And they've been a great force for us over recent months. They've seen the team struggle, and they've let us know when they expect better. I've got no problems with that. The players haven't got any problems with that, but I want them to rest assured that the players, myself, all the staff, are working as hard as possible to make sure that we make this a season they'll remember. That's it. But so it's not over yet. So by a long shot.
As you say, you're 6 points off third. I mean, obviously, I think you and about half the division are 6 points off third. It's
100%.
very, very tight.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you slightly surprised at the fact that you've had a run of no wins in 5, and yet you're still within that touching distance of, as you say, the main goal?
I don't know. I wouldn't say surprised, because I mean, look, the league is what it is, and I think there's a lot of teams that can beat each other. My main focus is on our performances and how we can win games. That's it. And how do we overcome the challenges we are going to face. So it's like you get seasons where there's 2 or 3 runaways, you know what I mean, and there's a big gap, and then you get seasons like this where it's really tight. And like you say, I think this conversation is probably going on all around the country, saying we're only 2 wins, 3 wins, 1 win or whatever from being in contention. So for me, as a bias and selfishly, I'm only looking at our future and our potential, and it's there for us. Our target is our target, which we all know, and it's right there in front of us to go and grab.
And obviously, we normally go down the list of injured players, and it takes about 10 minutes, but it's thankfully getting whittled down a lot shorter. How's Tyreek doing? Ty
was out on the grass today, not with us, only for a bit of the running at the start, but then he went on and did his stuff with the medical team. So he's made great progress. He's probably slightly ahead of where he was expected to be, but I speak to him each week, and he's so positive about it. He's desperate to be out there. He came here for a reason. He was desperate to sort of really stamp his mark as a senior first team footballer, week in, week out with a club that he plays for and works for. And unfortunately, this injury took him out of action for a little bit, but he's doing everything he can to be back. As they all are. That's I don't think anyone's dragging their feet. Sort of hiding in the shadows. They all want to be out there helping the team. So it's good to see them when they come back out on the grass, because we do miss them when they're stuck away in the gym for months on end. And I'm sure they miss us.